Namaste and welcome to our season 2 of Tête-à-tête. I cannot believe, wow, it's already season 2 of our series, something that started as a very small thought of mine on my yoga mat has turned into a platform where there are so many people who are coming together to speak of yoga and what it really means to them. So personal experiences to so many insights, thoughts about yoga. This has just gone so many places and so many more platforms. So thank you. I'm sure you all have witnessed this too and shared this special place with me. So thank you for being with me. I am so grateful, so privileged and honored to start season 2 of Tête-à-tête with a phenomenal person. She inspires me. She amazes me with her thoughts and perspectives. Just a 2-minute conversation with her, or it will just change your life. It will change your thought process. So that's been my experience. So to have an entire 1-hour conversation with her today is just so special, and I feel so blessed to be here today. So introducing our special guest for the evening. I mean, seriously, to introduce Swamiji would be doing injustice to how much there is to her. So I will just start with a very small, short story about really concise about how she was born in Paris to Australian parents, and from there her journey into sanyas has been awe-inspiring. And here to share that entire journey with so many wonderful insights with us is Swami Yogaratna Saraswati. Thank you so much, Swamiji, to be here with us today. It's such an honor, such a privilege.
Thank you, Ashwini, and the privilege and honor is mine. And congratulations that you've done such a great job and you're starting your 2nd season. And it's really amazing what this, COVID situation has done for us. It's opened up so many new doors and avenues, yes, and people that you could never have any touch with are now available to people all over the place. And it's really incredible. This is one of those, manifestations from that. So, there are a lot of good things.
So true, Swamiji. I think this entire period, I keep saying that this has been transformational, and so many people have had, so many things surface up for them, something that they wouldn't even have experienced or imagined earlier. And all of that has come up thanks to this, and out of every suffering, there is a transformation that comes through, and I think that's what this period has been for so many of us. Yeah. So I'm so grateful. And thank you for being a part of this space of
Thank you.
Okay, to start off with, Swamiji, please do tell us what it was like in your childhood, where you grew up, and whether you had spiritual instances even in that phase. Were you always, did you get some insights or maybe like a prelude to everything that is coming?
No, nothing like that. No, actually, a lot of people ask me that question. And when I look back on my childhood, it's a little bit like everyone, when you grow up, you think it's normal. It's only later in life when you realize that other people had a different childhood that you realize, oh yeah, mine was different. But while you're actually growing up and living it, it just seems totally normal and ordinary. And it's only in hindsight, I feel that I was so lucky because my parents brought me to India when I was 4, and I grew up in Bombay, going to an Indian school with Indian children, and I thought it was quite normal. And because my father was an artist and my mother was a musician and my mother was a very social person, she made a lot of friends amongst the art and music world and cultural world. So we had a lot of, I had a very rich upbringing.
Oh, wow.
And actually my parents were totally non-religious. In fact, my father was a card-carrying communist in Australia. And so, my parents were not at all religious, but they entertained and got friendly with people, artists and musicians, people who were very religious. So, you know, I had the connection of Christianity with my ayah. She took me to church every Sunday. And I had connection with Hinduism because a lot of our friends were devout Hindus, and I used to do puja with them. And I had friends whose parents were Muslim. So I had really exposure to all the different things. And I think that, you know, I was lucky because I had a very rich cultural and spiritual exposure, completely spontaneously without any kind of planning. And my parents were bohemian. They were not at all kind of regular parents. So I kind of grew up myself. And because I was an only child, I was left alone a lot. So I used to love sitting and watching the ocean. And we always had a flat looking over the ocean, you know, either in Back Bay or in the harbor. And I used to love just sitting there and watching the sun. No, sorry, watching the ocean, watching the moon reflecting on the ocean. And now in hindsight, I think, well, that was quite a spiritual thing to do. But in those days, it was just kind of a nice way to relax.
That's beautiful. Yes, we do a lot of things without even realizing that there must be so much more to it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's just absolutely wonderful. So Swamiji, since you already had something like this, was it a conscious decision that came to you, or what age or what moment was it transitional?
Actually, after I finished my schooling in Bombay, I went to Australia, which was the land of my parents, and I educated myself, got a job, did all the things that people wanted to do. And then I started, you know, I just did the normal things and trying to be successful, and then I kind of felt dissatisfied and I started searching. And eventually I came across an astrologer who told me that I'd never be successful. She said I'd never have a family, I'd never be successful in business, and I'd never be successful in the land of my birth. But I could go very high spiritually, and I could be a good teacher and a good healer. And I thought, oh, well, why am I bothering with all this? Why don't I, you know, go for the things that she said? And so I at that time, I was in Paris trying to make it there. And I thought, well, let me go back to India and see if I can make it there. So I went back to India. I was in a very bad condition mentally and physically. And I heard these ashrams, you know, spiritual places, calm places. Let me go to an ashram and see if I can get myself together. As soon as I stepped into the ashram, I felt totally good. My health and everything, I felt as if healed automatically. And I find it such a strange place, you know, these people with shaved heads wearing geru and everything. It was so strange to me because I was in the opposite path. And then I kind of, you know, did the courses and I lived the life, and very quickly I thought, this is how I want to live, helping myself and helping others, you know. But it was what the astrologer told me, that I could go high spiritually. That gave me the courage to think, well, you know, let me just join the ashram. I want to devote my life here. You know, I had fallen in love with my guru. I had a very good connection there. I really wanted to be with him and to serve him and to do everything. And so it's very easy to make the decision because I was already independent and I'd already tried everything in my life. And so I was really like the proverbial ripe cucumber ready to drop from the vine. And it was not at all a sacrifice or running away from life. It was more of an embracing, you know, embracing life and embracing good things. And I actually joined the ashram for a 2-week course.
Okay.
And I loved it so much, I ended up staying for 20 years serving there. That was the small branch ashram. Yeah, that was in Bangalore.
That's so heartwarming. So how is it that you chose Bangalore? Because
I came back to India. Yeah, I came back to India and I asked my friends, do you know of an ashram? And they all recommended Bihar School of Yoga. And I didn't want to go to Bihar because, you know, in those days it was 80s. You know, the reputation of Bihar was very bad. And then someone said, oh, well, you know, they've got a new branch in Bangalore and they've got residential facilities. So why don't you try there? So I phoned them up and I booked in for a 2-week course. And it was perfect because it was a small ashram. There was, you know, one Swamiji there who was representing Swami Satyananda, our guru and founder. And it was a small ashram with a rented house in a suburb. And it was perfect for me. I was very lucky. And as I said, you know, what the astrologer told me gave me the strength and courage to throw the towel in and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And it was really good.
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think the important thing to understand is it was my destiny. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, Swamiji says that only 1 in a million take sannyas. And my motivation was not to take sannyas. My motivation was to serve my guru. That's all I wanted to do. And, you know, that was part of the tradition to become a sannyasi. So I did it just for that. But now I understand what it is. And I think, yes, I was born to be a sannyasi. Because even in my childhood, you know, I spent a lot of time on my own. I was not very close to my parents. And, you know, it was obviously meant to be. And I think that's the important thing. Not everyone should even think of becoming a sannyasi, but everyone can take up yoga. Everyone can take up, you know, the practices to help us to become happy, healthy, and strong.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. Not whether you're a sannyasi or this religion or that technique or whatever, but you know, to open your heart and mind to a deeper life, to see what is the real meaning of life, to kind of connect with reality. I think that's the important thing, because especially in our society, we're so much, you know, thinking about how we look and what we should do, and you know, what will people think, and it's all very kind of superficial. But if you be honest with yourself and find out, what do I feel, and what I really, you know, what I really go for, and not, do I want the latest Nikes, or do I want the latest this, or the latest phone, or anything, but inside, you know, what do I want to do? And to follow that.
Yeah. Swamiji, the brilliance of what you've experienced is the Guru-Shishya parampara, and that is something that a lot of people in the city don't understand, nor have they experienced it to that extent. So can you tell us a little bit about it? How was it, and what did that entail? And through that entire process, I think that's when you chose sannyas. So what was it that led to that?
Yeah, I'd like to just say that before joining the ashram, for some short time, I was living in a community in Australia. And in those days, everyone was going for Osho. You know, they'd send their name in and get a sannyas name and join Osho. And we'd all get together, read the books, listen to the audios, and everyone is becoming a Osho sannyasi. And at that time, I thought, how can you surrender to another human being? They're just the same as me, you know? So it didn't appeal to me at all. But when I met my guru, it was like love at first sight. And I think that's the thing. Many people, it happens. Many people, it doesn't. But when you find your guru, there's no kind of question. It's just, you know, this is the person. It's like falling in love. But it's not a romantic or a sexual love. It's something that's uplifting, that, you know, you've suddenly opened yourself up to a higher feeling that you want more and more of. And, you know, you love this person because you think they're so good and they're doing such good work, and you want to join with them to do those good things. And, you know, you get so much fulfillment. And I actually think that the guru connection is so important in spiritual life. And in the scriptures, it says that you can't go forward without a guru. And I must say that I agree. If you have a guru, it's like, you know, going into a rocket towards spiritual life, because you can take on spiritual life, but, you know, there'll be always problems, and you never know, are you doing the right thing, and is this thing for you or not? And there may be things distracting you or cheating you or leading you off the path. But once you have a guru, it's like becoming part of a family. You know that you've got that guidance, the protection, and a real guru, a genuine guru, is only interested in your own welfare, is only interested in you developing and getting closer and closer to the truth and to the higher consciousness. So the guru is not after making you into a slave or taking all your money or, you know, that sort of thing. So you see, the first initiation when you take a guru is to get a mantra. And the only commitment you have is to sit every day and chant your mantra with whatever malas that the Guru has suggested. That alone is enough to give you the spiritual connection, the protection and the guidance. And once you start connecting the mantra, it's like plugging into the Guru Shakti energy and that higher consciousness. And automatically the guidance will come, the feeling of security will come, the feeling of belonging will come, and you'll be able to proceed. It's nothing like people think that, you go into a cult and then you give away your life and, and that's the end of life. It's not at all. It's just adding so much power and purpose and fulfillment into your life.
Yes, that's really beautiful. So Swamiji, was it different practicing yoga before you took up sannyas and after?
Actually, I was not at all interested in yoga before I joined the ashram. I used to see people doing asanas and think, this is not for me. I had done some meditation and I had taken initiation from Maharishi Mahesh Yogi when the Beatles came to Bombay. But it was kind of like, because my friends were doing it, I did it. And I wasn't very serious. I did the mantra for a while and then I forgot about it. And, But I was interested in the deeper meaning of life. And I led a very hedonistic life and I was not at all interested in yoga. But when I came to the ashram and I started living that life and practicing the yoga, especially when I took up meditation, Yoga Nidra and Kriya Yoga, it was kind of like a whole new world opened up for me. And it was just astounding, and it validated my inner experiences. And I think that was so important because, especially for children, they talk about their inner experiences and you say, oh, don't tell lies, don't be silly. And that can't be true. And actually, we really should kind of listen to the children. They're much more closer to the divine and to their higher consciousness than we are. For us, we've got to make effort, we've got to purify the mind. They're already there. But all our conditioning of society and peers and expectations and commercialism and materialism covers, layer and layer until, we're kind of like a human being in society that's an automation. And we've lost touch with that, reality of humanness.
Yes, that's true. Swamiji, one thing that was my question as well as one of my friends said, I haven't heard of many women who've taken up sannyas, and what was that like? And was it different, especially at that time? Were there a lot of women along with you? What was it like? Was it different?
Yeah, actually, I never thought of it that way because, I didn't know what it was like to be a man taking sannyas. Yeah, and I didn't know what it was like to be a woman taking sannyas. My sole purpose was to serve my guru. But it did happen to be that in our tradition, Swami Satyananda's Bihar School of Yoga, there are many women in the tradition and many foreigners in the tradition. So I didn't know that because I joined in Bangalore ashram. And, there was another female Western sannyasi there, Swami Muktanand. And in fact, she was away when I joined. So I was the only foreign woman there. But later on, I found that there were many foreign women in our tradition. And the thing I think about is Swami Shivananda. He's our Param Guru. And he was the one who first initiated foreigners and women. And when you think of it, soul is genderless and, cultureless and no nationality. So really, sannyas has nothing to do with are you a woman or a man or, what nationality you are. But because sannyas comes from the Indian tradition and is very much connected with the Hindu traditions, it's been generally a thing for men and for Brahmins. But actually, in reality, it's not that at all. And I never think of myself as a woman. I always think of myself as a person. But I understand now because people have said, oh, I came to the ashram because you're a woman. And I wanted to see what a woman was like, heading the ashram. And I think, well, I'm glad to be able to do that for people because I never think of myself as a foreigner or a woman or anything.
That's very profound.
But if I was in their shoes, I think I would also be intrigued. I'd say, oh, an ashram headed by a woman, I should go there and see that. So even now I feel like that. So,
that would definitely be very different. Of course, it's out of the normal, it's out of the ordinary. So it is something that's very intriguing for sure.
And I can just add one little thing, that recently I got reinitiation from Swami Satsangi, who is the female guru who's heading Rikhyapit ashram in Jharkhand. And soon after getting that reinitiation, it happened quite spontaneously, but soon after getting that reinitiation, I thought, isn't that amazing? You know, my first guru was Swamiji, who was heading Bangalore ashram. And then from there, I got introduced to Swami Satyananda and Swami Niranjan. And, you know, he's my guru. And I thought, well, I've got an initiation from a woman, and that's really great. Now I feel so grateful that I've got that part of that flavor, that aspect. So I can understand why people feel like that.
Yes, that is beautiful. So Swamiji, when was for all of you who are new here and have probably not read the introduction, Swamiji is just fantastic with Yoga Nidra. There are people from all over the world who wait to come to her ashram and experience this. So Swamiji, can you please tell us which was your first experience of Yoga Nidra, and when did that happen, and how did that feel? Was it love at first sight?
It was, yeah. It was very similar to when I came to the ashram, because as I said, when I came to the ashram, within a couple of days, I felt really comfortable and I felt really well and strong after being quite sick. And then I learnt Yoga Nidra. And Yoga Nidra was kind of like a pow, explosion and wow. Because it opened me to my inner world, and it gave validity to my inner world. And I suddenly discovered my subconscious and my Chidakash, and it became conscious and real. And that was just an amazing experience. And that was the thing that took me in. I was not at all interested in asanas and pranayams and all these other things. Now I am, but it was the Yoga Nidra that took me in. And it's still the Yoga Nidra that I love. And every time I give a Yoga Nidra session or start a course, I imagine what the people I'm with are experiencing, and I feel like I'm experiencing it for the first time. So for me, it's always fresh, and I just love sharing that experience with people.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So Swamiji, is there any particular either a spiritual experience, or during Yoga Nidra, or maybe one of your students or something like that of the memory that you can share to inspire more to walk along this path, or just introduce them into this space?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what experience it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Of course, as I said, that Yoga Nidra was a real wow experience, that when I discovered that I had a Chidakash, or an inner mind screen, and that whatever I saw there was valid, and it wasn't just, imagination or something to be ignored or whatever, that really gave me, I can't say, it was kind of like like opened up another dimension for me, it was just a wow experience. But if you don't mind, I'll tell you a little story of what happened to me before I entered the ashram.
Yes,
which
please.
Proved to me that there was something higher. As I was saying, I was living in this community, and we didn't have electricity, but I was making bags and wall hangings, applique bags, and I had this electric machine. So I was saving money to get a generator. And I was living with my half-brother, and he had done one personality development course. And part of the course is you got to enroll other people. So he'd go around and say, you must do this course, you must do this course, And I got fed up with this, and I said to him, no, come on, shut up, I'll tell you what, if I get the money unexpectedly, and they're quite expensive courses, I said, if I get that money, exactly that amount, before the next course, I'll do it. And suddenly, I got exactly that money. What happened was, the money I was saving to get a generator for my sewing machine, I'd met a neighbor and he said, oh, don't waste your money on a generator. I've got an empty house there and it's got electricity. You can come and use it all day, any day. You don't need to spend that. And along with that money, I got a check. You won't believe this. It was a check from the tax department saying they charged me too much and this was a refund. And the check along with that amount that I'd saved for the generator was exactly the amount for that course. And I thought, my God, this is incredible. Even now I'm getting goosebumps telling you about it. And I thought, I've got to do this course, you know, that the money has come and I can't go back on my word. I've got to do it. And I did this course. In those days, it was called Own Your Life. It's a little bit like Landmark Forum. And I did that course, and that really opened up a lot for me. And then I did another course, another course, another course. And that's when I decided, well, that's when I realized that there was something greater. There was a power there that had brought this and made me wanted to do this course. And ever since then, I realized that when the opportunities come, you have to take them because it's God giving you an opportunity. It's God
and showing the
door.
Pathway, showing that pathway that you must walk on.
Yeah, so that's given me a lot of faith in life.
Faith is just everything. That's such a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that, Swamiji. And please, if you have any more such stories, because that really gets to anybody who's listening, you know, like, oh, maybe something like this happened to me.
I think people should trust those things. They're like omens, you know, and people should trust those things.
Yes.
And I've got lots of stories like that, I'm afraid.
Please do tell us. We'll end with one as well, so we will come to that.
Okay.
But before I go head to the next question, all of you who are watching, please remember that you are free to ask questions, comment them, and they will be sent to me, and I will ask them to Swamiji. If you have any questions that you want to ask her, please go ahead and ask. Okay, so you can just type them out in the comments, and then I will ask her at the end of it. So, just to introduce my next question, to all of you who have probably not been a part of season 1, I always used to begin with, I want this as a platform for people to understand the right path of yoga, and from the right sources, getting to the right understanding. Because I really had a problem with everybody who was doing it in a way of, you know, just focusing on asanas or just focusing on one or two aspects, wherein there's so much more. And I felt like, why are you stuck in one part and focusing so much on that space when there is such a wide arena that's just waiting for you, you know, to delve into this ocean that it is. So as I was introducing this concept of mine to Swamiji, she said something absolutely beautiful when I said that I want to bring them about on the right path. So Swamiji, do you remember that, and would you share that with us, please?
Well, why don't you share the beginning and I'll share the end.
Okay, so Swamiji said that there is this is something that I do believe in the rest of my life, and I feel like every single thought, every single perspective that you may have, there are different levels to it. So you always are, you know, there's another layer that opens out another layer. So this really was like that for me, Swamiji, because I really feel like there's hardly anything that you can put into boxes of right and wrong. So when I said this, Swamiji said, when you say right, it means that someone else is wrong. But they're not wrong. It's just they're progressing. And when you say that they are wrong, you are giving them that illusion of separateness, that they are separate from you.
Me and you.
And that was just so beautiful. It means they're not wrong. They just have to move into the path. And if you, instead of saying that they're wrong, say that, oh, I respect where you are, but enter into this space where there is so much more. So then there is an open door from your end. And I thought that was just so beautiful, Swamiji. It really opened my eyes to this. Yes, it's so true that it's not that they're wrong. It's just that they are just about starting to progress into this space. So us opening that door allows them to progress. Otherwise, it's like shutting the door and saying that you are different from me. And yes, Swamiji said something beautiful about that difference between you and me as well, about how when you say that about someone else, that person is not different from you. They are the same. So there is no difference between that person and me. So we're just the same. I just found that so beautiful, and I changed. I said, this is not going to be my introduction anymore. I'm not going to say that wrong. So thank you so much for that. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this?
I would. Two little things I'd like to add. When I was working for years in the Bangalore ashram, I was teaching, and all my students, 99 or 95% of my students were Indians, local people. Okay. And most of them would come to the ashram for some problem like stress or high blood pressure or overweight. And there was all therapy. So they'd come there. A few came for fitness, but most of them came for therapy. This was before yoga became, a fitness fad. It was in the 80s and 90s. And so they'd come in and I'd tell them all the therapeutic things, and I'd be thinking, they're missing out on the real stuff, but it doesn't matter. But the thing is, once they came in to learn the yoga for reducing weight or for back pain or for bringing their BP down, and they'd learn Yoga Nidra because that is so good for relaxation and relieving stress, then they'd taste something deeper. Then they'd become interested in the spiritual aspect of yoga. So I always used to think it doesn't matter if they're coming for therapy. That's just the kind of carrot that is pulling them in. And then, just like me, I joined the ashram because I was suffering. But then when I tasted it, I got straight in because I found, wow, this is a gold mine, this is fantastic. And same thing nowadays. People come to yoga because they want to, it's fashionable, and they want to reduce their weight, and they want their body to reduce the hips and put on weight here and lose weight there. And, I want to go do a workout, so I want the fast and hot yoga. Okay, they're coming for that purpose. But it doesn't matter, because a lot of them are going to taste the deeper aspect, and they say, hey, wow, this is really great. I want to get into that part. And then they'll be interested in the deeper aspects. Yeah. So we joined for some reason, but then we realized that, oh, this is really much deeper thing. And so they go further and further. So it doesn't really matter where you start, but, you will taste the thing that will take you further.
Yes. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that thought, Swamiji. Okay, to pick on something that you had said earlier, Swamiji, you spoke about how, for you it was not as much about yoga, but, you just wanted to be with your guru, and, you wanted to walk on this spiritual path. So you chose sannyas for whatever reasons that you did, and you said that sannyas is not for everybody. So how do you think that someone could inculcate the best practices for their life in the normal life that they lead? How can they introduce what is it that you experience, maybe when you do yoga, or once you've taken up sannyas, there are certain things that you experience in your life. Is there a possibility that someone who's not taken up sannyas can introduce those aspects in their lives?
Absolutely. I think the first step is people suffer, okay? They may be suffering from boredom or a lack of a job, or they may be suffering from high blood pressure or depression, or some kind of desperation, and they think, I'll join a yoga class. So they join a yoga class, and they start a routine. They're going every day to the class, okay? Then they start getting benefit. Then they start thinking, a little bit deeper about their life. What am I doing in my life? Why am I doing this? And then gradually the things develop. They may give up eating non-veg. They may start getting up early. They may start mixing with different kind of people. A lot of people who are addicted, they want to give up addiction. So they take up yoga or something like this. Then they start giving up the addiction. So like this, it kind of unfolds, and gradually you get led into better and better things. But I think that what happens is you start with something and you keep going and you keep going, and automatically the things will happen so that your life becomes more regular, and you do things that are better for you. You leave off the things that are not good for you. You leave off the friends that are not good for you. You leave out the internet connections that are not good for you. And you gradually get better and better. But one thing I would say is that recently I had a look at something that was put on our mother ashram, Bihar School of Yoga, on their site, and it's called Living Yoga.
Okay.
And if you go onto Bihar School of Yoga and look for Living Yoga, it has a wonderful thing. It's actually how to live your life during the COVID pandemic.
Oh, wow.
But it's a really good thing to do, whatever kind of life you're living, because it tells you about how, getting up early, starting with mantras. If you chant mantras in the morning, it gets your mind really peaceful, and it's very positive, and it sets your mind up to a high level right through the day. And if you do some mantras or singing or chanting or whatever, reading uplifting books when you go to bed at night, then those good vibrations are working in your subconscious the whole night as you're going to sleep. Usually what we do at night is people look at the news, they check the news the last thing, and it's usually bad news, because bad news sells well. And so that toxin is going in your brain and making toxins in your body, which is eroding your body and putting fear and anxiety in your body your whole night. Same thing in the morning we get up. The first thing we do, check the news. And usually, I want to know what happened there. And then bad news, and you get in a bad mood, you get fearful, you get depressed, and that sets the scene for the rest of the day. So we're feeding in all this negative energy into us. And it's really affecting us. That's why we're having all these things. But if we realize that and put in good things in our mind, last thing before we go to sleep or first thing in the morning, that's why our ancient traditions always start in the morning. Get up, wash up, light a lamp, sit there, do some bhajan and kirtan, do some meditation. In any spiritual tradition, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, first thing is think of the divine. Connect to your own higher consciousness. Last thing before you go to sleep, connect to the higher consciousness. But those little things, you don't need to be a sannyasi to do them.
That's so true. That's beautiful. Swamiji, so similarly, is there a good specific time to do a Yoga Nidra practice? What would you think would be the best time, or is there any time?
Any time. Yoga Nidra is one of those things that you could do it at any time. And for people who are suffering from sleep problems, insomnia, or they can't sleep, Yoga Nidra at night is really good because it unwinds and empties your mind, and then you get good sleep. People who wake up too early in the morning or wake up in the middle of the night, they can't go back to sleep. Do Yoga Nidra, it makes you feel very fresh. People who have a low energy time in the afternoon, do Yoga Nidra, and it'll just pick you up and make you fresh as a daisy. Now you wake up in the morning and you feel very tired, do Yoga Nidra, and you'll feel really good for the rest of the day. So you can really do it at any time. And you can do a 45-minute one, which is the regular one, or you can do a 10-minute one, a 15-minute one, just to perk you up. It's really wonderful because 1 hour of meditation gives the same benefit as 4 hours of deep sleep. So if you do 1 hour of Yoga Nidra, you're getting 4 hours of deep sleep.
Wow.
If you do half an hour of Yoga Nidra, you're getting the benefit of 2 hours. And if you're doing 15 minutes, you're getting the benefit of 1 hour of deep sleep. So it's
amazing.
really worth it,
That's amazing. So Swamiji, is there anything specific, something miraculous or, something like that you've experienced when you've practiced Yoga Nidra or, practiced it on someone? Any of your students who've had just some major changes in their lives or...
a lot of people, say that they had amazing experiences. One of the common experiences, which is kind of funny, is that a lot of the people see the things in their Yoga Nidra before I actually say it. Because what happens in the Yoga Nidra is everyone is in a relaxed state.
Yes.
And before the class, I didn't do it for this session, I didn't think it was appropriate, but before the class I always chant Om and Shanti Path and I think of my Guru, and at the end of the class we might do it. We chant Om and give thanks to the Guru. So that connects us with the higher consciousness. And then they are listening to me and I'm telling them. So there's a connection through the sound, words and listening. Then they lie down and close their eyes and they're listening to me and they're listening and seeing and hearing and following the instructions. So we have a total connection. And so even before I say many of the words, they see the visualizations or they have the experiences. And sometimes I spontaneously say things that I didn't even think about, and then afterwards they say, oh, you said this and I was already experienced it, and I think, oh wow, this is must have what they need. Or they say, oh, you said something and I really needed to hear that, and it was something that I didn't even realize, but I got the idea or the hunch or the intuition, and I said it, and that's exactly what they needed. So because we're all connected, and I think that's really amazing, mysterious, and wonderful.
Yes, Swamiji, I just, if I could, I just want to add in that I have experienced this, that, when someone's next to you, you kind of share those similar vibrations, maybe there is an intersection of energies that is happening. So a lot of times, even before I say something, that other person says it, or when I guide someone into Yoga Nidra practice, this has happened to me many times, that some sensation that I'm feeling, they, after they get up, they're like, oh, I felt this sensation. And I said, oh my God, that's just mind blowing, because that's what I was feeling, as I was guiding them into the practice. So it's not even like my eyes are closed or I'm in Yoga Nidra, but I'm just like guiding them into it. And they say that they experience it. So it's been amazing. A lot of people, I remember this one girl who had migraine. And at the end of the class, she said, what did you do? It's just completely gone. I said, yeah, it is. It can be that magical. It can be that miraculous, that it just kind of, wipes the slate clean. And you you have something, fresh you can walk into. As you said, fresh as a daisy. So that's probably where they're getting at. So that's beautiful. Thank you, Swamiji. And yes, definitely at the end of the session, we are going to do this. I will probably just hand it over to you, because I wouldn't want to say anything after that. Swamiji has something beautiful planned, bhajan and this and that. So after I finish all of these questions, I'm just going to say this is completely yours. And probably I won't even talk after that, and probably just end the session, because I'm sure I'll be in that, floating somewhere. So yes, getting into the next thing. I think I've finished most of what I wanted to ask. I think a few things that we wanted to speak about, Swamiji, is there are few people who find it really hard they feel lazy or really weighed down by a lot of things. Is there anything that they can introduce into their life, into their practice, something simple that will probably get them out of their slump, the slump that they're going through? Is there something like that you can tell them, anybody who feels that laziness weighing in?
Yeah, there's I can interpret your question in a few ways. One thing is getting up in the morning. Sometimes it's difficult to get up in the morning and give yourself enough time for practice, even though you really want to do it. You're lying there enjoying and you don't want to. So a good thing, two good tricks to get you up in the morning. One is, before you go to sleep at night, have a drink of something, water or Horlicks or cocoa, or whatever it is that you want. Have that, because when you go to sleep at night, your bladder is going to wake you up in the morning, and you'll have to get up to go to the bathroom. Then once you go to the bathroom, you say, okay, I'm up now, I'll just stay up.
That's nice.
It's a good trick. Yeah. And the thing is, if you drink too much, you get up in the middle of the night. So you have to experiment and see just how much. And of course, before you actually go to sleep, you should go to the toilet and let everything out. Then when your bladder will wake you up. That's a good trick. The other second trick, which is really good for getting up in the morning, is think of something that you want to get up for. So for example, it might be, oh, I'd love to have a hot cup of coffee. So then that idea of coffee, yes, let me go and get a cup of coffee.
Oh, it can be a small thing like coffee.
Yeah, it can be a small thing, Or it could be that, oh, I just want to open the window and hear the birds singing.
Oh, wow.
Or it could be, oh, I just want to have a nice shower. Or maybe it could be, I want to check my WhatsApp. But if it is WhatsApp, then you should make sure you keep your phone away that you can't reach it, so that you've got to get out of bed to reach it. Because you see, the mind is a monkey mind. It's always doing tricks. So you have to be smarter than the monkey mind and arrange things to make you do what you really want to do. You really want to get up. You
Yes.
really want to do it, but your monkey mind is saying, "Nah, I don't want to do it today."
Yeah,
So
this is
those
fun.
are 2 tricks for getting up early in the morning. Okay.
That's lovely.
Yeah. Another thing is, some of us are so lazy to do asanas or anything. You can do walking. And there's a beautiful walk I discovered recently. It was actually an ancient practice. And it's called the infinity walk. And what you do is you walk in a figure of 8. It's very rhythmic, it's very soothing. And you can even do it in a small room or in a veranda. You can just put 2 chairs and then you walk in between in a figure of 8 like this. And you keep walking. And along with the walking, you chant a mantra. Or along with the walking, you listen to your favorite bhajans or you listen to satsang. Because many times we think, oh, I don't want to waste my time doing that because I'd rather be doing this. So if you trick yourself into doing something you really like doing with the thing that you don't want to do, but you know it's good for you. So then you could do your walking while you're listening to your satsang, or while you're talking to your friend, or while you're listening to your favorite music, or when you get a little bit deeper into when you're doing mantra chanting. I love to do it while I'm doing japa or mantra chanting. That really focuses my mind and empties my mind, and by the end of it I feel, oh wow, I've achieved something.
Wow.
So, otherwise sitting the whole day, you sit for chanting, you sit for meditation, you sit to go to the office, you sit in the office, you sit for eating, you sit for now we're sitting.
Yes.
So even if you just get up and do 5 minutes of infinity walk, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour of infinity walk, anything you're going to do, and then sit down and feel, or stand and feel the difference. You can feel everything moving within you, and all the systems are being cleansed with the blood circulatory system. All the systems are being working and activating. And it's for lazy people, it's a really good way to get going. Or for people who are incapacitated, who have high BP, or they can't do much except walking. It's a really great way to do things.
So I'm sorry, continue on.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask why the infinity sign. Is there a specific reason for it?
Something to do with the way you're moving your body from one side to the other.
Okay.
And so that balances the 2 brain hemispheres. And plus you're crossing over also. And there's a very good video, if you look in the YouTube, Infinity Walk, you'll see it tells all the details.
Oh, wow.
But it's very nice. It's very nice. And the other little thing for people who don't have time to exercise, you're sitting on the chair, you just hold your hands on the side of the chair, and you lift up your legs and you do cycling. It's quite tough. If you do it now, just try it. It's quite tough.
Oh, I'm on the floor, so I won't be able to do it. Yeah.
Even you can just stretch your legs out and lean back and then kick your legs up and do cycling. It's quite tough.
Oh, yeah. And the core really gets worked out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what happens is it stimulates the blood circulation in the legs so that the blood goes to the brain, which is where we want it. It strengthens your core muscles and it stimulates the blood circulation, massages all the organs in the abdomen. And you can, and then while you're doing it, keep your mouth closed and breathe deeply through your nose. That gets all the nadis and nerves stimulated and balanced and activated. And if you count, 10, 20 rounds, 30 rounds, 50 rounds, 100 rounds, each more and more, and try and stretch your leg fully as you do it. It's a really quick and easy and lazy way to do something while you're sitting.
Can it also be in the supine posture, lying down?
Very good. It's very good in the supine posture. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's really nice, especially since you don't have to get up and move around. But this is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Swamiji, one question from my side before I get to the other questions that have come up. One question from my side that I just remembered as you said this, because you said breathing from the nose. This is really something that I wanted to ask. I've seen a lot of people saying, okay, deep breath in and exhale from your mouth. And I've always learned that there's a lot of energy that escapes and we must breathe more from the nose than the mouth. So why are they saying exhale from the mouth? Is that okay? Is that not okay?
I think that exhaling from the mouth is a Western thing. That you're taking a deep breath in and you exhale from the mouth. And it could also be an East Asian thing. But in yoga, we say it's very important to breathe through the nose because there's a nerve center here and a nadi center over here. And when you breathe through the nose, it activates this. And if you breathe through your mouth, you're misactivating that. And plus, the nose is a natural air conditioner. If you breathe through your mouth, you're taking that raw air into your lungs. And so it's really important to breathe through the nose. The only time that we should breathe through the mouth is when we're exerting ourselves so much that we spontaneously breathe through the mouth so we can get rid of the carbon dioxide and take in more oxygen. But otherwise, unless you're really out of breath, it's best to breathe through your nose.
Yes. I'm so grateful that I even thought of this because I've been wanting to ask this question for really long and I think I've asked the perfect person. So thank you, Swamiji. Okay, getting to the question. So one of my students had sent this to me earlier. He came for classes because basically he said, he's, bad with decision making and he's like, few things. And I said, don't worry, everything will get sorted. You're taking life too seriously. Just come for yoga and you'll be fine, just don't worry about all that. So now he's like, oh my God, I realized that there's so much more. I don't worry so much. Even have to make a call or something like that, I'm relaxed. I don't get too stressed out and everything. So the other day when, I made them do a posture, I think it was just a forward fold. I think it was just Upavishta Konasana and I did it for a long time, 3-4 minutes. I asked them to hold it there. So then I said, just don't move out. I know you'll feel that reflex of having to move out, but don't just stay there. So after that, he messaged saying, I can't believe that just staying in that posture, I could go into so much more awareness within myself. And that it brought out a whole, different aspect that I never realized that could be an effect of yoga. So, so his question is there any specific way to direct ourselves to immerse deeper into postures? Is there any specific course that we need to take to do that? Is there a method that we need to do or something that we need to follow to get deeper into the inner selves while we are doing our asana practice?
You see, an asana practice can be a meditation. What is meditation? Meditation is focusing your mind on something and being aware of what you're thinking. So while you're doing the asana, what are you doing with your mind? No one tells us. Okay? So while you're doing the asana, feel what's happening. Feel the shape of your body. Feel what's happening in your body. Know why you're doing the asana. Know what are the benefits and the effects. And feel, oh yeah, I feel some squeezing here. I feel some stretching there. I feel good really over there. I feel a little bit of pain there. Or maybe I'm feeling suffocated. Or maybe I can feel, I want to go to the bathroom. Or whatever it is. Awareness is the key thing. Develop your awareness. Second thing is be aware of what your mind is thinking. And as soon as you find, you see, when we do asanas, a lot of the things are going to be released. So our mind is just going to go shooting here, there, and everywhere. It's quite okay. This is part of the process of chitta shuddhi, purification of the mind. So anytime your mind goes thinking of, there's the mind, it's okay, let me bring it back. There it goes off again, it's okay, let me bring it back. So two things. First of all, feel what's happening in your body. Know what's happening with your breath, know where you're feeling the stretching, the squeezing, and how you're feeling in that pose. To imagine what you look like from the outside as you're doing it, and the benefits if you can. And second thing is be aware of your mind, and keep bringing your mind back to feeling. Feeling, how do I feel? Where do I feel the stretch? Where do I feel the sensation? Am I feeling an emotion? What kind of thoughts are coming up? Can I observe the thoughts? There's a beautiful practice called antarmaun, inner silence, in which we learn to witness our thoughts. So this goes very well with anything in life. But basically, if you want to go deeper into your asanas, you just practice those two things. Awareness. Awareness of your body, awareness of your mind, awareness of your emotions.
That's beautiful. And then, of course, for everybody else, this happens on your mat. But remember to carry it through the rest of the day. Those are reflections that you carry into the rest of the day, into every second that you're living there on. Because that's when the actual effect of the practice starts showing. If you just leave it on your mat, it doesn't reflect on your life. It has to carry into the rest of your life, because you'll slowly learn, you'll become more aware of your feelings. As Swamiji said so beautifully, in a posture, there are things that come up. Maybe you're letting go of something, all of that is coming up. So take note of all of that and see how this reflects onto the rest of your life as well. Okay, getting into the other questions. What difficulties did you experience in your practice of Yoga Nidra?
Sleep. I keep falling asleep.
Is it okay to fall asleep, or
it's okay. It's okay. So sometimes I have to stay awake in a Yoga Nidra, especially if I'm doing a teacher's training class and I have to listen to my students' Yoga Nidra. So then what I do is I sit in meditation, I keep my eyes open, and I look at the floor in front of me. And then I can stay awake and listen. But what I think is, sometimes it's okay, just let go, allow yourself to go to sleep, and just say to yourself, if I let go, I'm going to come back in 5 minutes. Then when you wake up, you feel really clear and fresh, and that is when you really get that Yoga Nidra state of clarity and peace. And many times I design my classes or whatever I need to do, I go through it in that state.
Oh, wow.
So either find a way of staying up. There's another way. You can just prop your arm up like this on your elbow on the floor, and you keep your arm up like this. And when you fall asleep, your fingers will curl or your arm will fall, and that will wake you up. But sleep is a big problem for you.
Okay. All right. Another question. How do you know that yoga is opening your connection with the divine? Apart from the divine being within, what would be the signs that you are connecting with the divine?
Just that you know that you are. Little signs, like I was saying, those little miracles start happening in your life, and you think, wow, that's amazing. It must be something greater than me. Maybe that's the divine.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think that what I like to do is, I know the divine is here, but I can't see it, I can't hear it or feel it. I just know it's there. So it's kind of like sometimes I close my eyes and I think, I can't see you, but I know you're there. And you know that what I'm thinking, and you're helping me, you're with me all the time. So if you just kind of realize that, then the divine is there. It's just that we're not aware of it. We're so busy with our little things that we're not aware, but it is there. So if you just say, supposing it really is there, what should I be doing? What should I be thinking? What is it thinking? What is it seeing? And then you're developing your relationship with the divine.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Also, thank you for these questions. They're absolutely beautiful. For everyone who has messaged and asked these questions, thank you so much for that. And at this moment, I just want to, because I don't want to talk later, I just want to thank you, Swamiji, for this absolutely beautiful tête-à-tête that you've created for us, for all of us. I mean, I've had the time of my life today. I've just been so busy in the past few days that I haven't got, enough time to just stay in stillness. And this staying in stillness was this conversation for me with you, where I learned so much and reflected on so many things. So thank you so much for this. Really so grateful for this. And on this note, thank you so much for whoever has come out. I've seen a lot of you online, but I don't want to talk as much right now because I just want to guide us all into this beautiful bhajan that Swamiji has created for us. She's going to sing a little bit for us right now, and then I would like you to end the session, Swamiji. So I'm just completely handing it over to you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. And I'd like to take this opportunity just to tell you that I'm giving Yoga Nidra courses online all the time. Yes. And the next one is starting on the 11th of October. So you can either send me an email on Swami Yogaratna or connect with Ashwini, and you can, wherever you are in the world, you can join it. So that's
since it's
the beauty of
online,
modern technology.
please pick up the opportunity to go for this course. I will also, Swamiji, put the entire email and your details of the connection, how they can connect with you and the course in the introduction box, so that anyone who wants to connect with her, please do. You can write to her, and just if you want to communicate with her, please go to the ashram. Oh, that would be such a beautiful experience. Go and experience Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. I'm sure all of that is part of being in an ashram. We didn't have enough time today, but hopefully maybe, fingers crossed, we might have another one where we can speak about all of those things another day. But please do connect with her and go to the ashram, and please sign up for this course that's just coming up in about 10 to 15 days. It's coming up. So please go and join the course. It's going to be a blissful experience for sure. And on this note, Swamiji, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. And what I wanted to say is, earlier what I was saying about that you don't need to be a sannyasi to have a spiritual life or to practice yoga. So this song that was composed by Swami Shivananda of Rishikesh tells us how we can lead a spiritual life.
Wow.
And I'm going to sing it to you now. Love, serve, give, purify, meditate, realize, be good, do good, be kind, be compassionate. Inquire, who am I? Know thyself and be free. You will soon attain immortality. Adapt, adjust, accommodate. Bear insult and injury, the highest sadhana. Love, serve, give, purify, meditate, realize, be good, do good, be kind, be compassionate. Inquire, who am I? Know thyself and be free. You will soon attain immortality. Adapt, adjust, accommodate. Bear insult and injury, the highest sadhana. Love, serve, give. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you so much for this, Swamiji. Thank you. Namaste. Namaste to all of you. Grateful. So grateful. Thank you. Namaste. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swamiji.
You're so deep. It's wonderful. It really is. I feel so encouraged and inspired by you.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Oh my God, Swamiji, this is so.
Yes.
Oh,
You really got the deeper aspects of yoga. It's so nice, and you're sharing it with everyone. It's really wonderful.
I really want. This was my main motive to really bring.
You're doing it. You're doing it so well.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you so much. Your blessings mean so much to me. It really means a lot that you've said this today.
I feel blessed to be on your program.
Oh my God. Thank you, Swamiji. I definitely will. A lot of people have commented such beautiful things. I'll go through them right now. And if at all possible, and if you would like to, then you can come back and we can speak more in detail about,
that would be great.
About a few topics, maybe a few weeks later.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay, we'll plan one.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Thanks, Ashwini. Thank you.
Namaste. Bye-bye.
Hari Om.